have you guys in a kind of odd place in my apartment because I'm dying to show you my redesigned patio / outdoor studio that I made. So I had been filming out on the top of the garage of my apartment complex, which was fine. I was like, you know what? I need to come up with a place that I can film, that's shaded, that's private, a la my patio. So I'm gonna show you a picture of what the patio looked like before. Kind of boring. I hadn't done anything to it at all. It was really a wasted space, especially in the summer. I love using it in spring. I love using it in fall. And I'll even go out there with like a blanket or like a comfy robe in the winter time. But during the summer, it was just not being used at all. So I gave myself a $150 budget to do as much of this as I possibly could. And I'm gonna take you through some of the different DIY and cost-saving tips that I used in order to pull this off. But let's start with the chairs. So I had these chairs before. They were brown. I got them from Wayfair. It's that brown poly plastic, looks like wicker, but it's not really wicker. So they were fine. They are perfect condition. That plastic, nothing ever happens to it. But I didn't want a lot of brown. I wanted it to be bright and colorful and fun. And so I decided I was gonna spray paint them. I also decided on this kind of like pink, tropical, fun, light, girly vibe. And so I was like, you know what? Let's paint the chairs a like emerald green, like a forest green. So Rust-Oleum has this great product. It's like $3 a can. I took 1 can for each chair. The spray paint is for plastic, so it adhered to that very easily. There was a lot of overspray, so if you're going to use it, just go into a very, very open space. Wear gloves, cover your feet, wear a mask. Okay, so I spray painted the chairs green. That was really easy. And that's one of those things that for $3 a can, I could keep spray painting them all kinds of different colors. There's so many colors of this Rust-Oleum product. I'm tempted maybe to do pink or navy next. I mean, you can really paint them anything. I'm obsessed with like the whole black and white outdoor look, so maybe I'll spray paint them black. And you can just keep going, coat after coat after coat. Okay, so then the cushions there, it's the same exact cushions that were on the chairs before. I just recovered them. I got that fabric from Joann. Last week they had a 60% off their outdoor fabrics. It was a great time to purchase outdoor fabrics. I really don't need a lot to cover those chairs. So I just took the cushion itself on some tracing paper, drew around the shape of the chairs, kind of like tapered toward the back. And then I measured up the height of the seat, which I think was like maybe 2 inches, and made 1 long strip for that. And in the back, it's the same width strip, but there's just a zipper in the middle. So I just accounted for that zipper, added seam allowances, and now I have a pattern piece for those cushions. So if I ever want to change out the cushions again, I don't have to do the remeasuring. I can literally just cut and sew like I would any other pattern. And then, truth be told, I didn't even take off the old covers. I just slid the entire cushion cover, old cover and all, right into the new cover. So I don't have a lot of place to store stuff like that. So I just put it back in. The pillows were really great. I got the forms from Amazon. My favorite trick is to get them from Goodwill, but they're slim pickings at the Goodwills that I went to last week to try and find pillow forms. And I wanted something that was made for outdoors. So poly outside and poly inside, just to make sure there wouldn't be any funky stuff growing. The fabric on the outside, super, super cute. Again, from Joann. The pillow forms are 16 by 16. I make my pillow cases exactly the same size as the pillows. So I just had to cut out 16 by 16 squares and voila, I have a pillowcase. I did get a little bit of extra fabric though so I could do the envelope back. And then After I did that, I added some cam snaps to that overlap just to make sure that it stayed nice and closed and no water would be going in at all. You can also see that I had some extra of the seat cushion fabric left over, so I decided to make a decorative bunting from the outdoor fabric. If it works for a seat cushion, it should work for any decor at all. So what I did is I used my Cricut, and in Cricut's design space, I just looked for images, different pennants, and then I didn't even sew them. It's like a no-sew pennant. Instead, I installed grommets at each corner of the pennants, and then I fed sisal rope through those. So that's a great outdoor product. It's resistant to, you know, mold and all of that stuff as well. The grommets might rust because I don't think that I think they're like a coated type of thing, but that's kind of okay. I think it would be kind of cool if they rusted out a little bit so they're not so shiny gold anyways. But yeah, I just fed it through, made 2 little loops on the end, and then hung that from a tension rod that I got from Walmart. The tension rod along the back wall is what is holding up the pennant and the pink shower curtain. That's right. All of the curtains out here are intended for the bathroom, but if they're good enough for the bathroom, they're good enough for a patio. So these curtains are extra long because it's a high ceiling out there. And shower curtains tend to be very, very wide. I want to say this is like a 50 or 60 inch wide shower curtain. So I knew it was going to cover that width in the back, and it does. These curtains cost me $10 a piece. They're thick but lightweight. They have the weighted bottoms, which is really nice. It still does blow around out there a lot. The wind can kind of pick up because I'm on a higher floor. But they're opaque. It's not showing any of the wall through, which I think is really nice. So I got that one, and then I got 2 additional ones to flank the window that is visible out there. So one of the curtains just hangs, and the rod that I have for that is a rod that I got at IKEA. It's expandable. I don't think it's for outside, but the rain does not get up on that high and that far back. When we have the worst storms, there's a little bit of blow of the rain blowing in, but not a ton. So I felt pretty confident that I could use a regular shower curtain or a regular curtain rod there. If it rusts out, the thing costs like $4, so I can buy another one. But I needed one that extended a lot, because I wanted it to go from one end of the window all the way past the other end of the window to the corner to match up with that other pink curtain. So I have sort of a continual wall of curtains going around that corner. You can see there that there's also a light fixture that's out there, and obviously I couldn't just put the curtain over that. It's very obtrusive. I'm a renter, so I can't just take it off. So I decided I would take one curtain panel. Like I said, they're very wide, and I measured in from the corner of that wall and then just cut the curtain. What I realized about the curtains anyways is that they're only hemmed on the top and bottom. The sides were raw anyways. So it really does look like I just got a narrower curtain and then a wider curtain and put them on either side of that light fixture. And then it hides, like the light fixture just pokes out between the cut edges of the curtain where I cut it. So I thought that was pretty ingenious, if I do say so myself. Okay, let's talk about the flooring. The flooring came from IKEA. Now, I shopped around for this. I went to Wayfair and Overstock and Walmart and Target and Amazon and all the places, and truly, the one at IKEA, even when it wasn't on sale, was cheaper by like 50%. Okay, next up, let's talk about the little gardening trellis. This was such a fun idea to come up with. As you know, as I told you in our chat video at the end of last month, I'm trying my hand at growing herbs, and it's going well. I did not drown them. They are thriving. So I wanted to have something where I could put all my herbs outside where they could thrive in the sunshine and get the rain and the natural air and all of that. So being in an apartment, I can't do any real fixtures at all. But I came across some stuff on Pinterest called like vertical planters. And so that spawned this idea. I knew that they had garden trellis at the hardware store for dirt cheap. This 2 foot by 8 foot trellis was like $10. The hardest part was getting it home because all I have is a Volkswagen. So I had it like through the trunk, through the back seat, through the sunroof. It was one of those moments, but I got it home. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. And I've gotten so many things that shouldn't fit in a sedan to fit. I consider it one of my like special skills. But so I got that home, and then with zip ties, plastic zip ties that I got at Walmart, I just affixed it to some of the vertical rods. Not every single one, just every once in a while, every few feet or so, I put a little zip tie top and bottom. So that thing is up there, it's not going anywhere. The metal planters I got at Joann last week, 2 weeks ago, and they were on sale. I want to say they were $5 a piece. And so then for those, I just drilled holes in the bottom so that the water could drain. And I drilled 2 holes along each corner, put zip ties through those, and then zip tied those to the trellis itself. So if I ever have to move, I can just really cut off the zip ties that are attaching the trellis to the railing and take that whole thing with me. The last thing I want to talk about is this little table that's in the middle. This is actually a pallet, a very small pallet that I got at Home Depot because I asked really nicely. They gave it to me for free. I don't believe this is going to be the permanent little side table, but I need something very, very small that I haven't been able to find yet. So for now, that's what that is. The top of the pallet, well, this is the pallet turned on its side. So the side of the pallet actually has a hole in the top, and I pushed down like a little metal container that I had so that if I'm sitting out there, I can fill it up with ice, put some drinks in, and then I'll have like an automatic cooler, which I thought was really, really fun. If I don't want to use it for the cooler, then I can use the tray to hold my cell phone and a magazine or whatever it is that I'm doing out there. So it's actually turned out to be quite handy. It's just not the cutest. So maybe I'll come up with a way to pretty it up some. I think some spray paint would go a long way, or maybe some kind of like wood paneling on the front to make it look finished. Even though the rest of it would just be the palette. I'm still working on that. I'm really excited about my space. So there's lots and lots of time for me to film tons and tons of videos, lots of outfits. If I want to bring my dress form out there, I can do that too. The only downside is it's very loud, so I can't do any audio. Everything that I do out there would have to require a voiceover, which is why I'm standing in the corner of my living room talking to you with the patio in the background. But I hope you guys like it, and I hope whenever you see the videos, the background just makes you feel summery and fun and light and vibrant and joyful. Because that's how it makes me feel. That is going to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.